Hi and welcome to another UK Gravel Collective YouTube video. This video is definitely a vlog. I don't think I've got anything to show you that I'm reviewing at the moment. This is just a personal record, and that's because 2.5 weeks ago on this route I crashed, and I don't remember all of it. I was with someone who was able to tell me what happened, but suffice it to say, got 11 stitches in my face. I can't remember it because I got concussion, and today is I think the word is cathartic journey back to the crash site, because I feel the need to complete the ride, because I don't remember probably an hour of it until I got picked up and taken to A&E. So come with me if you want, and I'll show you the details of what happened. And there might be some gory photos, so I'm warning you now. If you don't like blood and pictures of me probably looking a bit spaced out, then you probably should turn off. But before you do, make sure you subscribe, because they're not all going to be bloody videos, and YouTube, that is not swearing. Come with me. Well, I'm sorry for the lack of speedy coverage there coming down that hill, but it is so hard baked and rough that even with a redshift stem on, it's absolutely killing my shoulders. And I'll tell you about my shoulders when we stop at the crash site, but I was not looking forward to that, because I remember it being that bad when I was on the mountain bike. But anyway, we're not far now. So I remember coming out of that bridle path, which is even more overgrown now, and out onto this path. Now, there is a bridle path, and I suspect it's this here. But because we've just come up that really overgrown bit, we wanted to avoid this, so I was going down the edge of this field, which you can tell it's 2 weeks ago because this is all yellow. Coming down here, and then I saw the bridle path here, so I thought I'll just flip it back onto the bridle path. And here you can see this wire, barbed wire, which must have been the field boundary wire at some point, embedded in the mud. There's a bit more of it here. And that's basically the last thing I remember for probably half an hour or so. But I think this is the bit that caught me. Which is still here. And I'll try and flatten it down when I've put the camera down. Oh, there you go. That's what caught me. This. And you can see that in the dark. This bloody thing caught on the bike somehow. And then I ended up over here. And then I can remember tumbling. And the next thing I can remember is being sat here, swearing at myself because there's loads of blood coming out of my face. And my friend looking concerned and actually phoning 101 to get some advice on what to do, because obviously I'd had a bad fall, hit my head. Checking helmet afterwards, had a big split down here, so that took the brunt of it. 6 stitches here, 4 in my lip, 1 in my chin, lots of blood. But as you can see, we're probably a mile from the nearest road, and the advice from the emergency services was it's going to be at least 2 hours before anyone can get here, so if you can get a lift, get a lift. So that's what I did. Luckily my other half was available, and from here all I can remember is saying to my friend, I can ride this bit. And you'll see in a minute, around this corner, there's some hefty steps that you have to walk down. You can't ride down on a gravel bike. And then another road, and then another little road, and that's where I got picked up. And from me saying I can ride this bit, I don't remember anything until I got picked up. So here are the steps I was talking about. And, well, I mean, you could ride it, but not when you've got concussion. Oh, this one's even bigger. Or steeper? No, higher. I don't think you can see. Put the wheel back. I mean, this is on the bridle path, so I presume horses can step down that far. But anyway, in a state of delirium, it's probably not a good idea. And I couldn't have ridden down there. I mean, I probably need to be knocked out to even think about attempting it. So this must have been the bit where I said, oh, yeah, I can ride this bit. It's quick to ride than walk. Who knows? And the ironic thing is that we came this way to avoid main roads, because we thought, oh, we don't want on dangerous roads or the traffic. But you know, on that day, probably would have been more advisable to take on the articulated lorries. So, what was the cost of this crash? Well, physically, the aforementioned 11 stitches, the most painful bit being having anaesthetic injected into your face and lips. Not pleasant, even when you're not quite with it. But other than that, and a bruised nose where my glasses got smashed into my face, not much. A little scrape on my arm, a 50p sized bruise on one shoulder. It could have been a lot worse, nothing broken. I've got to say a big thank you to Rad 8 cycling glasses, because the left hand lens of the glasses was absolutely scraped to bits. You can't see out of it at all now. So if my eye had actually hit the ground there, you know, I don't want to think about what could have happened. So wearing those glasses probably saved me a lot of issues. And also Giro helmets. I've had two bad crashes, funny enough 10 years apart, almost exactly. Both times wearing a Giro helmet, and both times, you know, I cracked the helmet and it could have been a lot worse, I suppose. So thanks to Giro, thanks to Rad 8 cycling glasses. The other issue I've had is what I think was whiplash, because I must have gone over the bars, twisted my neck. So I've had a lot of trouble almost straight away with stiff neck, not being able to move my neck, really painful shoulders, and in fact I couldn't have done this ride yesterday. I tried, I did about 10 miles and it was just agony in shoulders, so I gave up and went home. Last night, my other half, who loves inflicting pain and I don't have to pay her, used one of those muscle guns on my shoulders and neck, and today 100% better. Not, you know, fixed, but able to ride off-road for the first time in ages. So, you know, I was a bit skeptical about those things. I thought they were just a gimmick or a adult toy, if you will, but yeah, that certainly seemed to make a difference. Monetarily wise, well, it was expensive. The aforementioned glasses were prescription, so I had to replace those, and they're very vocal, so, you know, not cheap. And bike wise, a new rear mech, because the cage on the mech was seen to be twisted in 4 different dimensions, if that's possible, and although I could get it to work, it was not consistent, so I had to buy a new rear mech as well. Other than that, you know, the only thing I've lost is a bit of confidence, which today's ride was supposed to help sort out, and it has, although I have cut my leg, but that was on brambles, so that's going to happen every ride in the summer. Being in your 5th decade and riding, you do not bounce like I used to when I was in my 20s, so recovery is taking a lot longer. As I say, it's almost 3 weeks, maybe more than that, since the accident. I'm still getting neck and shoulder pain, but you know, trying to exercise it. This massage gun, I think I'll have another session of that a few times, and just trying to get back out on the bike. Also riding one-handed while speaking to a camera is probably not the best, but other than that, I think I was quite lucky. I was also lucky to have someone with me who could look after me. And also on my Garmin, I'd also got the a live follow session thing going, so the other half knew where I was almost all the time. That is a really good feature. So if you are buying a cycle computer, if you can pinpoint you to other people, I mean, you may have told them what route you're doing, but you might veer off. That's a great feature. I hadn't got the crash thing enabled, which sends a text message if the impact's enough, because riding on the gravel bike off-road, you tend to get that impact a lot. But big thanks to the Spaniard who looked after me when I crashed, didn't call me an idiot. He probably did. And thanks to A&E in Redditch, because I went there and I think I was only in there for just over 3 hours on a busy day. Superb service. And they patched me up, sent me home, and here I am, back on the bike. So if you'd like to watch more videos, hopefully of me not revisiting crash sites, or maybe you do want to watch that, don't forget to subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. Have you crashed and got back on the bike? How long did it take you to recover? And how old are you? Like, subscribe and share, and hopefully if the shoulders survive this one, I'll see you on the next ride. Thanks for watching.